Risen from a small coastal town, he carried nothing but a dream and a voice that held the weight of an entire generation. Through music, he opened doors that had always been closed to artists who spoke, lived, and loved in Spanish, proving that the world would listen if you dared to be unapologetically yourself. He challenged gender norms with the way he dressed, fought for women's rights with his lyrics and platform, and stood beside his people during moments of deep pain and injustice. He turned rhythms once ignored into global anthems, and transformed his culture into a worldwide movement. But perhaps the most powerful thing he ever did was remind millions that who they are, their language, their identity, their roots, is not something to hide, but something to celebrate.
Benito Antonio Martínez Ocasio was born on March 10, 1994, in Bayamón and grew up in the Almirante Sur neighborhood of Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. His father, Tito, worked as a truck driver, and his mother, Lesori, was a schoolteacher. At home, his parents often played salsa, merengue, and romantic pop music. One of his earliest memories was receiving a Vico C album as a Christmas gift when he was 5 years old. As he grew up, some of the first CDs he bought were by Marc Anthony and Victor Manuel. He also has 2 younger brothers, Bernie and Baisel. He has said, "I wasn't the kid who got into trouble. I liked being at home with my family."
As a child, he went to church every week with his mother, who was a devoted Catholic, and he sang in the church choir until he was 13. After leaving the choir, he became more interested in the artists he heard on the radio, especially Daddy Yankee and Hector Lavoe. His stage name came from a moment in childhood when he had to wear a bunny costume and was upset about it. During his teenage years, he began shaping the identity that would one day make him one of the most influential artists in the world. Growing up in Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, he lived a life that was simple and grounded. He was not the kind of teenager who spent time causing trouble or seeking attention. Instead, he preferred being at home with his family, surrounded by the familiar sounds of music and the warmth of the people he loved.
As he moved through middle school and high school, music slowly became more than just something he listened to. It became the language through which he understood himself. Although he had once sung confidently in the church choir as a young boy, it was during his teenage years that he began to explore music on his own terms. He filled notebooks with lyrics, recorded melodies on his phone, and experimented with rhythms that blended the world around him with the artists he admired, such as Daddy Yankee, Hector Lavoe, and Tego Calderon. These artists were not just musicians to him, they were teachers, guiding him toward a future he didn't yet know was possible.
At school, he was quiet and reserved, but those who knew him well saw his creativity. He liked making jokes with close friends and occasionally surprised people with his humor. Yet he also carried a strong sense of discipline. He helped his family, focused on his studies, and stayed away from the dangers that often tempt young people. His mother, a devoted Catholic, encouraged him to stay grounded, and her influence helped shape his character during these important years. What truly set his teenage years apart was the inner fire he carried. Even though he looked like an ordinary high school student on the outside, inside he was dreaming of something bigger. He imagined performing his own songs, connecting with people through his voice, and representing Puerto Rico with pride. Still, he kept these dreams mostly to himself, unsure of how or when they might come true.
After finishing high school in 2012, he studied audiovisual communications at the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo because he wanted to become a radio host. During this time, he worked part-time as a bagger and cashier at an Econo supermarket while making music on the side. He eventually left university to follow his dream of becoming an artist.
From bedroom beats to Billboard.
He began writing songs and creating his own ideas when he was just 14 years old. Music became a way for him to express what he felt and imagined. By 2013, he started sharing his work on SoundCloud, a platform where many new artists were beginning to be discovered. He uploaded early tracks such as Get in 2013, Temptation in 2014, and Just Let Me Know in 2015. These songs didn't make him famous yet, but they showed his growing talent and determination. Little by little, people started noticing his unique voice and style.
Everything changed in 2016 when he released the song Dials on SoundCloud. The track caught the attention of DJ Luyan, a major figure in the Puerto Rican music scene. Impressed by the young artist's potential, Luyan signed him to his label, Hear this music. This was the moment when his professional career truly began. Soon after, his single, Soy Peor, became a big hit, reaching number 19 on the Billboard Hot Latin Songs chart and introducing him to a much larger audience.
In 2017, his rise continued. His collaboration with Colombian singer Karol G on the song Ahora Mi Llama reached number 10 on the Hot Latin Songs chart and was included on Alt Latino's list of the best Latin songs of the year. His music was now being played everywhere, on the radio, online, and across Latin America. That same summer, he signed a booking deal with Cardenas Marketing Network, CMN, allowing him to perform in several Latin American countries. In November, he also became the host of Trap Kings, the first Spanish-language show on Beats One, giving him even more visibility and influence. Not long after, the remix of Te Bote, featuring him alongside Ozuna and Nicky Jam, hit number 1 on the Hot Latin Songs chart, proving that he had become one of the most exciting new talents in Latin music.
These years marked his transformation from a teenager making songs in his room to a rising star whose music was reaching millions. They were the beginning of a journey that would soon take him to stages and charts all around the world. In May 2018, Cardi B released the song I Like It, which featured Bad Bunny and J Balvin. The song became very popular and reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. In October 2018, Bad Bunny released the song Mia with Drake. This song also did well and reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100.
On December 24, 2018, he released his first album, X100 Pre, through Rima's Entertainment. The album reached number 11 on the U.S. Billboard 200. It received positive reviews from critics and earned a score of 84 on Metacritic. It was also included on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time in 2020. On June 28, 2019, he released Oasis, a joint album with J Balvin. It reached number 9 on the Billboard RB and number 1 on the Billboard Latin Albums chart. In July 2019, he joined the protests in Puerto Rico against Governor Ricardo Rossello. During the protests, he and Residente released the song Afilando Los Cuchillos to support the movement.